Hello and welcome to the Gooner Talk, back again with you guys for another show, for another episode of our preview show in partnership with Fansbet, our weekly show in which we look ahead to the next Arsenal game, and specifically today we are focusing on Arsenal's trip to Turf Moor, and they will be facing, of course, Burnley, a side who we have measured different circumstantial history with. I mean, last season was not the best of times playing Burnley. Only 1 point from the two games, which included a Granit Xhaka nightmare in not just one, but in both matches. A red card in one and a forceful goal, which he basically kicked off the chest of Chris Wood at one point at Turf Moor. So the fact that he's suspended may go in our favour. But as I said, our preview show is always in partnership with Fansbet. And you can, of course, find out more about them. This season, we have indeed teamed up with Fansbet and the fan-led sports betting company committed to supporting charities and causes which are important to fans. Do check them out at fansbet.com and claim your bet 10, get 10 plus 50 free spins welcome offer. Link is in the description. Terms and restrictions apply. Full details on site. 18 plus. Please do gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information, and do check out Fansbet responsible gambling tools. You'll also see us contributing on their social content, talking all things Arsenal, so do give them a follow. I joined Callum and Dee earlier on this week, who are Liverpool and Palace fans, and we talked ahead of the games this weekend. There was a lot of banter, mainly in my direction because of how poor Arsenal are. I mean, the fact that Crystal Palace fans are even now stepping up, thinking that they have a right to come at me with their woes and their banter, it's not good enough. But hopefully Arsenal can get their 6th point on the board this week. And to do that, as always in our preview show, I'm joined by some of our members. First of all, making his... I've lost count of how many times Ludwig's been on now. How are you doing, mate? Are you well? You're not like Sasha. You don't keep count.
No, I don't keep count. He's a financial person, so he likes to keep count, but I don't. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Hopefully I'll feel better after tomorrow. But a little bit stressed, but hopefully we can beat Burnley and keep Sean Dice a bit quiet.
Yes, that is the aim, definitely. Back again is Lewis. How you doing, mate? Are you well?
Yeah, good. Good to be back.
Now, Lewis is someone who I actually met outside the stadium when I was doing the work for Football.London on the protest. It was nice to see you there, Lewis, and thank you for coming up and say hello. I think you were wearing the same shirt, were you not?
Do you know what? I think I wore this on the first time I ever came on. I was thinking to myself, oh my God, he's going to think I've got no other Arsenal. I do. They're just all in the wash at the moment. I was like...
You don't need to explain yourself, Lewis. We understand if that's the only thing you wear. It's respectable. It's fine.
All the time.
Finally making up our 4-person panel and making his debut on TGT, one of our long-time members, but first-time appearers. It's Jordan Hentley. How you doing, mate? Are you well?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Doing good. Excited for tomorrow.
I'm loving the training shirt, mate. It is
thank you.
Very nice design. Joining us all the way from Florida, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Amazing stuff. So you were in the same neck of the woods as John, Miami John, but he has now moved to Chicago, and he says he's having a lovely time. I don't know what that says about Florida, but he just said he's having a lovely time in Chicago. So
it's a different vibe over there for sure.
It's a windy city. Is what it is. Anyway, let's look ahead then to tomorrow's game against Burnley. Jordan, we'll start with you and go in reverse order. How are you feeling about the game?
Well, being an Arsenal fan, I've mentally accepted that peace of mind is just not an option for us. But I do feel that tomorrow we can be sort of confident. I do feel that we'll win the game, but there's just a few questions that we have to deal with first. Because, like I said, I'm not sure if he should start Partey, but I feel like he should just because I want us to get that foundation in the game. I'd rather have a case where the first half we can score whatever a goal, maybe 2 goals, and then second half take him out rather than having to send him in second half to save us. So I'm feeling that it should be, in my opinion, a 2-0 win.
Oh, we'll get to predictions. He's jumping the gun with predictions. It might change. You never know. Ludwig and Lewis might convince you to change your mind by the end. So we'll have to stay tuned to see if Jordan does indeed keep his prediction the same. Lewis, are you nervous about this? I mean, we lost our opening 3 games. We go into the game against Norwich. It wasn't the most convincing of displays. I know we had 30 shots, which would make you think it was convincing, but there was just something that I felt that I wasn't quite entirely happy with. Maybe there's the 1-0 scoreline was what put me off. But are you confident going into this one?
Yeah, weirdly, yeah. I think,
Blind optimism.
You know what? It's not even quite blind optimism. You know, when you hit rock bottom, right, you don't immediately get to the top end after that. And, you know, I think Man City was pretty rock bottom. It was a steady performance. Pepe got on the ball, frustrating though he was. Ødegaard's back in the team. Aubameyang looked sharp. We got the win over the line, and it sets a nice, modest foundation. And I think we've got too much in attack, and I think we'll get onto the lineups, but I think our defence is a lot better than it's been in years personnel-wise. If they can gel, I'm modestly optimistic, optimistic, but reasons for it.
Fair enough. I like moderate optimism is better than no optimism whatsoever, so I'll take it. I'll take it. Ludwig, Burnley are a side that Arsenal, as I said, have got a bit of a storied history with. Are they a banana skin side for you?
Yeah, we all know how they like to set up. They like to sit back, don't like to let anything through, and then just like to send up the big men for the set pieces. So, yes, they are a bit of a difficult one for us, but I do think our defense has improved. So I think we will be fine, especially with our brand new Japanese right back. That's going to be a good match. But yeah, overall, I haven't been confident for Arsenal game in a long time, so cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, it's a luxury, isn't it? Being optimistic and looking forward to. To be fair, I do long for games at the moment without European. I don't know how you guys felt, but watching or seeing any, maybe you coped by not watching any of the European football this week, but not being involved in it hurt. Like it really did. It was not nice having to watch midweek football. I've tried to make the positives go by. I mean, we've written articles at Football.London trying to convince people that there are positives to take from this period, but it's really hard to go through those games and know that Arsenal, and you've got to wait all week. I'll be thankful for that League Cup game against Wimbledon in midweek. Genuinely, just seeing Arsenal play an evening game is going to be a nice return to form, I think. Before we go into kind of our lineups of what we would like to see, Jordan, is there anyone in particular that you are desperate, besides Partey, because you've mentioned him already, that you are desperate to see play on Saturday?
Tomiyasu, for sure. Because his first game definitely had a great first game that I was very impressed. I'll be honest, before the deadline, I was definitely Team Emerson. I wanted him to come. But once I saw him play, I was very impressed.
I think seeing Zaha turn Emerson inside out also helps, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was always going to be one that was the most pleasurable viewing, is a Crystal Palace 3-0 win over Spurs. Lewis, same question. Besides Partey and Tomiyasu, it gets gradually harder. So, Ludwig, you've got to prepare yourself. Who are you looking forward to most?
I think this might give away a little bit about my team sheet lineup because I've been quite controversial. But I'd say Emil Smith-Rowe. I thought he was wicked when he came on against Norwich. He drags players with him, and when they set up like in a kind of low block Burnley, you want people that can carry the ball and actually move into space and not just think passes rounds. And I think he needs to be rewarded by getting on the pitch and seeing what he can do and playing closer with our front line.
Yeah, I think that. Actually, I was about to say something and give something away from my own team, so I'll save it. We'll save it. Ludwig, who is it for you? You can't say Partey, Tomiyasu, or Smith-Rowe now. Who are you going for?
Well, mine was next to my name, so I want to see Pepe right about over here.
There you go. It's difficult working out where it is, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I think Pepe is. He didn't play a lot last season, and when he played, he was really good. I would like to see him constantly. I think he's a really good player. I think with Arteta playing him one game last season and then giving him off after he said he's really good and then giving him off for 3 games, I never understood that. So I really want to see Pepe play constantly. I mean, he's the reason why we actually won against Norwich, because he did give Oba the tap in, and he could have scored just as easily. So I want to see Pepe, and I especially want to see Pepe now that he has a right back behind him, a real right back behind him. So yeah, that's what I'm excited for. I'm excited to see how Pepe and Tomiyasu get along. I think that's going to be a key part for us this season.
Absolutely. Balaji's going for Ramsdale in the chat. I'm looking forward to seeing Ramsdale's distribution have another impact on the game. Sasha agrees with you, Ludwig. Pepe in. South African connection there in support. Greg says, true, no games during the week is a trial. Thomas Partey says, Steve Stone. Bougie is going for Gabriel for the man of the match performance. Josh also saying Pepe. Amurisa says, Ben White thought he was really good against Norwich with his progressive play. Luke Williams says Saka left, Pepe right, Partey time, and Aubameyang up front. Darker Shadow is going for Pepe either on the left or the right, but definitely should play in my opinion. And Dana going for Aubameyang. Let's then get those predictive lineups, or rather what we would like to see happen. But before we do, as always, just a quick word from our sponsors. Our friends over at Fansbet have a totally free-to-play game for this weekend's Premier League action. Simply to enter, predict the outcomes to be in with a chance of winning up to £10,000 in free bets. Terms and restrictions apply. Full details are on site. 18 plus, and please do gamble responsibly and visit begambleaware.org for more information. Link is in the description for our welcome offer. So please do go and check that out. We're going to start, Lewis, with your team. So talk us through your selection.
5. It was the back 5 that kept that clean sheet against Norwich. And, Tomiyasu was absolutely quality, to be fair. Dead impressed with him. But I've been a bit controversial because I've stuck Ainsley in midfield. Arteta said about Partey and alluding to maybe not risking him, and I'd rather see Partey start fully fit v Spurs, unlike half-cocked against Burnley, and we lose him for Spurs entirely. And somebody made a good point on the Arsenal Vision pod I heard earlier today. I think it was Paul. Ainsley can do that kind of coqueline role. He's really physical and he's quite nippy. And he proved himself that he can play forward passes as well. And I'm just thinking it's going to be a proper tight game, one that I think we will show our class. But I think we'll have a lot of the ball. And I think Ainsley can just, with his pace and his determination, will be able to more than make up for the cutting edge of Partey.
Is it more down to kind of so just quickly, because I know there's some people in the chat box that are like, what the hell, no, Partey, what were you thinking? Is it more because you kind of just don't want to see him risks ahead of the North London derby?
Oh, 100%. Like, what is the point of us playing, saying that it's a benefit to not have European football if we can't get Ainsley or Mainsley, if he has a good performance, back like he should be able to partner with Lokonga this week, train really well. Are you telling me that they can't dominate a very thin Burnley midfield? We do need Partey in the future for the whole season. Play Ainsley there. I didn't think he was awful. He was a bit wayward, but build the lads' confidence. I also think as well, the reason why I've gone with Ainsley is if we get a goal and they just chuck everything in the kitchen sink forward, Arteta loves to in-game management. I can see us going into something like a back 5, shift the whole back line up, drop Ainsley back into right wing back, stick Partey on to see the game out with Lokonga, take off either Ødegaard or Emil, and all of a sudden we've got battlers in midfield, we've got composure in the back line and pace to break from our wing backs, and we've got like finishers up front and runners to still stretch the play if we are up against it. So that's why I've gone with Ainsley for today. I think for his tactical versatility. Ødegaard, love Ødegaard. I think the guy's, honestly, I'm such a big fan of him. Like, couldn't get over. Yeah. But I personally couldn't get on with the James Maddison thing over Ødegaard. I think the ceiling is just so higher. And then Emil Smith-Rowe, as I alluded to, when he came on, looked wicked, looked fantastic. I think Saka did a bit of a slow start. And even in the Brentford game, Emil looked like our one bright spark. And I think you've got to reward him. And I don't think you can take Pepe out of the team. And Aubameyang, look, he's got our first goal of the season. He is our talisman. I think Pepe and Aubameyang will get us the goals. And I think Emil edges Saka out on this game. And we've always got our little Chile to come off the bench if we need him.
Absolutely. Let's then have a look at Ludwig's team. Explain yourself, fella.
So the back 5, the guys at the back, I just think that's our base. That's just, well, the overall team, I just think this is our base team for the entire season, and maybe swapping out Smith Rowe with Saka, Odegaard, or Pepe throughout the season. So Tierney, Gabriel, White, Tomiyasu, I think they're the best defense we can have, and we need these guys to gel. We need these guys to form a solid partnership, and especially with Ramsdale. Lokonga Party is a team up I would like to see for the entire season. I would like Xhaka to sit on the bench for the rest of the season, if possible. And then I think we have to play Party. I think the game is too important to lose. I think every game is going to be way too important to lose, especially against the lower teams. We need Party, and if we get in front, we can take him off at halftime to preserve him for the Tottenham game. Odegaard is a no-brainer for me. I think he is our captain. Even though Oba wears the armband, I think Odegaard is the real leader on the team. Oba might lead by example, but I think Odegaard is more a vocal leader, and he also leads by example. I mean, we all saw his work rate last week. Pepe, I gave my reasons for Pepe. Oba, I think, needs to be our top scorer. He needs to get back into form. His goal was a bit of a lucky one. It was a tap in, but all strikers do get that, and I hope that boosts his confidence. And then Saka, honestly, I'm fine with either Saka or Smith Rowe. I just chose Saka. Don't know why I chose him above Smith Rowe. I just think he can give us a bit more, but like I'm saying, either Saka or Smith Rowe, I don't really mind.
Let's then finally go to Jordan's team. Jordan, talk us through it.
So for me, the same reason, the back five. Honestly, Ramsdale has been, to me, a big key on the change, because his passing forward is beautiful. It really is, because what we've been dealing with Leno, the short passes to the left or right. If not, if he was in a pickle, he would kick it out. But other than that, it wasn't much. But with Ramsdale, I definitely can see that difference that we're seeing there. And it's our last game with Gabriel and White, and the movement forwards and backwards is just beautiful. The passing, and they have a good chemistry. I can see already. Just they have a system that they know what they're going to do, and it's just so calming in the back now. And I put Partey in just because I feel that I'd rather start strong and have a 2-0 lead in the beginning rather than be trying to force something in the end. And if anything, I think Maitland-Niles can come in second half and kind of close out the game for him, because as Lewis mentioned earlier, I definitely do agree that if we score 1 or 2 goals, they're going to throw the kitchen sink and they're just going to throw in crosses all day. But I definitely feel that the midfield base of Lokonga and Partey is going to work. And then I did differently there was I put Pepe on the left just because I want to see how it's going to work, because Pepe, he was doing good, but last season, I think he had a great stream of games where he was on the left and he was killing it. One game that I remember was the Wolves game when he tore up those 3 guys and scored the goal with his right. And that game really showed me like this could be his true spot on the left. The one thing is that I think Saka is a better crosser, but with our game, pretty much Tierney comes there's all the crosses on the left anyway. So on that point, we need more goal scorers. And then what I see for England is that Saka plays his best games on the right. So I definitely want to see how he can do on the right, and maybe he can continue that England form that he's been on. And then Aubameyang, I still believe in him. I think last season he had a lot of factors that could cause him to have a lack of goals, but this season I definitely can see that want is still there. And I put Odegaard in obviously because Odegaard, he's been our instrumental player right now while the passes are in. And last game, like a lot of guys kind of didn't like how he was, running so far back. But I think honestly his work rate was tremendous for defense at the end. And I just think that this team is very balanced.
Yeah, balance is going to be key. I think that's the biggest thing about this game, is making sure that we balance the team right. It's interesting. All of us have made some slight little tweaks to each other's lineups. Let me show you what I've gone for in the lineup. A couple of tweaks to what you guys have said. The back 5, I think we all agree on. This back 4 in front of Ramsdale has to be consistent. We have to keep these guys together, build that chemistry, build the connection between them. Tomiyasu, I think, is the perfect foil to Tierney, to be honest, where Tierney's so offensive. Tomiyasu's kind of that disciplined player on the right that could just slot in. It means that Gabriel and White can shift over to the left when Tierney bursts forwards. Then both centre midfielders can support the attack. You don't rely on one of those two dropping in to cover that space, kind of left by Tierney. So I like that dynamic there. Lokonga and Partey. Lewis, my reasoning for starting Partey, I feel like I should explain it to you because I respect the point of view of saying to rest him ahead of the North London derby. For me, Partey is so key in the way that we play in the first half. If, say, we can get a goal up in this game at half-time, bring him off, bring Maitland-Niles on as kind of that suitable replacement. It's just the start of the game. I feel like we might need him. That when he came on against Norwich, the shift of how we played and the passes that were going through the middle of the pitch was such a difference to what we had prior to Partey being there. But I completely respect the point of view of resting Partey for the North London derby. It makes complete sense. I have gone for I suppose I've made the awful sin that you guys haven't done and taken Nicolas Pepe out of the lineup. I have my reasoning before the chat box loses its mind. For me, this Burnley game, Pepe has struggled for me against Burnley. He struggles against sides that are really solid defensively. When he gets the ball into the right-hand side and has to take players on, when he's going to have to take on those Burnley defenders, I think he's going to struggle. For me, I want more creativity. I want players that are able to pass between the lines through to Aubameyang and give as many chances to him as feasibly possible. Playing kind of the attacking three of Erdegaard, Saka and Smith Rowe behind Aubameyang, I think is going to give him as much service as he possibly needs. If we need a goal in the last half an hour of the game, then you can bring Pepe on. You can bring him on anyway. Not starting a player does not mean that they're not necessarily good enough to start. As they say, the team that ends the game is as important as the team that starts it. So Pepe coming off for the bench for me is no problem. It's just this specific game against Burnley, I would be playing the most creative players in the team, feeding Aubameyang as much as possible and splitting that Burnley defence. Not to put loads of balls into the box, because Aubameyang's not about physicality and winning headers, but just those intricate passes that we need to see between players. That's what I would be going for in my lineup. So there you have it. Let's then move on to the final part of the show, which is obviously predictions and questions, but the last word from our sponsors and our exclusive offer as well. Our partners over at Fansbet have set us up with an exclusive fan boost for this weekend's game just for you. Arsenal to score in both halves against Wolves was 3.25 and they've boosted it just for TGT to 3.75. Terms and restrictions apply. Full details are on site. 18 plus, and please do gamble responsibly. Visit begambleaware.org for more information. But let's finish off the show with, of course, our predictions. Ludwig, we start with you. Give us a scoreline prediction, mate.
So I think the game will end 2-0 with a goal and assist from Pepe and a goal from Oba. And the assist from Pepe will probably come from Erdegaard. I trust the guy. But yeah, I also wanted to say that I think the fact that Ramsdale just slots into everyone's team just shows how wrong many of the Arsenal fans were to doubt the guy. And all the hate he received. That when who was it? Was it Pookie who chased him down? Just calmly went past him. Oh, that was so beautiful.
Have you seen the video with the dubbing of the sound over the top where it's like, whee? I love that.
That's so beautiful.
I think it's great.
That was the moment that I realized this was a brilliant buy, and just his decision making is brilliant. But yeah, 2-0. Think we might have one or two frights. Good keeping from Ramsdale will keep them out. But yeah, 2-0.
Lewis.
We won't keep a clean sheet. But I think
it starts negatively.
I think we're going to win 3-1. Honestly, I've got a good feeling. Not that we're going to win it comfortably, but I think with the team that he's going to put out, I think there's enough key players at that critical moment. We're not going to dominate very well, but I think we'll just get the edges at the right time. Maybe a goal in each of the first and the second half as well, which might be a bit of a good one if you fancy a bet. Which I might actually be fair.
There you go. And you can check them out with the link in the description. Thanks for that, Lewis. Jordan, go on, son. What do you think? Oh, no, I've got you on mute. Sorry, that's my bad. Sorry, okay. Go again, Jordan.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be 2-0, and I think Saka's going to score a goal. And I think it's going to be Aubameyang on the other one.
Oh, nice. I like the fact that you've gone for a Saka goal because he is someone in the team who genuinely does need a club goal at the moment just to shut some people up. Let's go into the chat box then and get some of your thoughts and feelings about how you feel this could. Now, the problem is when Arsenal play away from home and we do these score predictions, people just put a scoreline in, but they do it. And I can't work out whether they're saying we're going to lose because they put 2-1 and no context whatsoever. So we'll try to make sense of some of the optimism, hoping that there is. Josh Hunter saying 2-0 Arsenal. Mo Fala 2-0 to the Arsenal as well. King going 1-0 to the Arsenal. Below says 2-0 to the Arsenal. Darkest Shadow going 2-1 Pepe and Aubameyang. Rahul says 1-1. Ashwin going 2-0 for the Arsenal. Hugh saying Arsenal to win 2-1. Pranjal says 2-0. Neil Jones going for a 1-0 to the Arsenal. Jonathan 2-0. Sasha, I'm assuming Sasha, or rather I'm hoping that this is a 2-1 to the Arsenal, but hey, you never know. Sasha can be some negative Nelly sometimes. Let's hope he doesn't fall into
Sasha's way too negative. He's way too negative about this game. I've heard him talk.
Dana says 3-0. I hope we take our chances. I'm assuming that is to the Arsenal, of course. Steve Stone says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Partey and Gabriel with some left field picks for some goal scorers. Pierre going for a 1-1. Michael says, I fear a draw, but I'm going for a 2-1. I'm hoping that's to the Arsenal, Michael. Tom says 3-1 to the Arsenal. Erdegaard, Aubameyang and White will score. We'll give up a header from a corner. I hope White scores. That'd be great for my fantasy team. Kashaka, who I believe, Jordan, is a big fan of yours, is saying 1-1 in the chat box. Hugh Marisa says 2-1 to the Arsenal. Luke Williams says 3-0 Aubameyang and Pepe 1. Rampur says, how will Ben White fare with Burnley's physicality? I mean, it's a good question. I think we'll end with that question in just a second. I will come back to that, Rampur. Mr. Joe Kerr says 1-0 for us. Vasant says 4-0 to the Arsenal. Tamp says 1-1 till the 80th minute, and then we'll concede a set piece and lose 2-1. Well, thanks for that, Tamps. Much appreciated positivity and optimism at the end. But I do want to finish with this question from Rampur, who says, how will Ben White fare with this Burnley physicality? Jordan, we'll start with you on this. It's been something that's been a big talking point amongst the Arsenal fans, is how Ben White deals with the aerial kind of threat from opposition. Are you concerned about how White will deal with that?
Well, I said before, I think Gabriel and him have a great partnership where they both actually equal each other's faults per se, because I think White's the better passer, but I think physicality wise that Gabriel is better and he has the height. But I think on the one-on-one against smaller defenders, that White's the better one. So I feel like they feel about each other out, and I think that they have a game plan in place for that, where they can help each other out in this factor. And I do believe that maybe by himself against Wood, he'd have maybe some issues, but I think as a partnership and as a set of four themselves, they'll be fine.
Lewis, what do you think? Physicality, is it going to be a problem for the Arsenal tomorrow? I
think we've got enough elsewhere in the team to compensate. It's not just Gabriel on his left, but Tomiyasu on his right. You know, if you can, if you tuck in, even if you pick up their two forwards, Pepe's done, in my team anyway, he tracks back. He's definitely tracked back a lot more in the last sort of since the turn of the year than he may have done previously. So I think even if they try and get width in, we go narrow. And it's not like White is awful. He's not. Don't forget, Rob Holding got beat to headers by Raheem Sterling, right? It's not like we've got prime Tony Adams in replace, And I think he says optimistically, famous last words, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's got enough people there helping him out.
Prepare to clip Lewis if he does. Absolutely ruined by Chris Wood. Ludwig.
I think people underestimate White. Like, there's this narrative about him that he's too short and he can't do headers and all these things, but he's really not that short. Like, he's not like a 1.5 meter guy. He is not that short. And I do think we have enough around him to compensate for his shortness. But I think the physicality will be fine. And to be fair, if he can't handle the physicality, we probably should not have bought him. So I think it will be fine. I don't think he's that bad with his physicality. I think that's an overblown narrative.
If and only if Chris Wood pops up tomorrow with a headed goal from a corner, we can always come back to this video and curse ourselves for these words. Some bloke does raise a really good point, though, to saying do a better job of stopping the crosses coming in. And that's actually something I thought Tomiyasu did really well against Norwich, got close to the wide men for Norwich and stop those balls getting in the box. We need to hope that Tierney does the same with Gabriel on the left-hand side. That's our left has really been where the crosses have been coming into the box a lot more. So we need to focus on that. It's a really good point there, some bloke. Ludwig, go on. I feel like you want to chime in.
Yeah, Tomiyasu also has what we call in the game recovery speed, something that a previous person I will not name, a specific vegan, did not have at the end.
Hey, look, just because he's vegan, you have to point that out characteristically.
I just did not want to say his name, so I just gave a characteristic.
Deary me. Well, you never know. I'm hopefully, this is a glimpse behind the curtain of some video ideas. I might be going vegan for 6 weeks in an attempt to lose some weight. So keep your eyes peeled for some content. Hector Bellerin, I'm going to be looking towards for some inspiration. See if it works.
To counter you, I'll do a carnivore diet for those 6 weeks.
You never know, lad.
Go on, Lewis.
It might be changing the name of the channel to the Forest Green Talk instead.
The Forest Green Talk is what it's going to be. We'll see. We'll keep you updated with that. But basically, I told you that me and Bailey from the Arsenal way did some football videos yesterday. And looking back on the pictures, I'm like, yeah, you need to get back to the gym, Tomo. You need to get back to the gym. Yeah. So thanks, Jordan. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, mate.
No, not you.
Oh no, I hear you. I'm only joking.
The quarantine 15.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, thank you ever so much, guys, for tuning in and watching our preview. If you haven't already, please do drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here with those notifications on, so you never miss a show. If you think that you can hold your own just like these lads have today, then join up as a member, as an expert member, or as a TGT ambassador, and join our Discord server. I love how Ludwig's confidence that you just could not perform like he does on these shows. But if you think that you
can't handle the heat,
if you can handle the heat and you'd like to come on the show and join our Discord server, all these boys will definitely tell you that the Discord server is worth being involved in. It's really good chat 24/7 about Arsenal and lots of other stuff as well, all supporting each other all the time in the Let's Talk channel. But I'd like to thank my guests today. Ludwig, you're a confident man. I hope your confidence comes through tomorrow in the game. Appreciate your time, mate.
Unfortunately, my confidence won't have any effect on the game. I wish it could, but yeah, just be careful. If you join the chat, Vinny will Photoshop you. It will be hilarious, but it's very fun.
He will. He's an unstoppable force, is our Vinny. That's for sure. Lewis, thank you again, as always, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much, Tom.
No problem at all. And Jordan, an amazing debut, mate. Really appreciate your time, and I'm sure we'll welcome you back again very soon.
Yes, please.
No problem at all. And Chatbox, the most important people here, of course. Thank you so much for making this show your go-to for all of your Arsenal news. If you'd like some more insight on previews, you can check out our video over on the Arsenal Way channel. I was joined by Lancs live reporter Alex James from the Burnley perspective, and we went into kind of a lot of the finer details and the tactical side of things. So if you want to hear some more about the Burnley side and hearing how our press against Norwich may not be as effective as it was in that game when we play against Burnley, then make sure you go over to the Arsenal Way and check out their content as well. We'll see you again very, very soon. And as always, up the Arsenal.